Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to our students and all viewers who joined us this afternoon. I know that it's been a while since I last joined you guys. It's because I have to tend to some personal matters for the past 2 weeks. And yeah, uh, it's nice to be doing this live lecture once again with you. So I hope you guys understand why I haven't been active in our GC because like what I told you before, I'm tending to my mom who had a stroke last week, and I'm the one taking care of her. So yeah, it's just so nice to be uh, doing this again with you, live lecture. Okay, and I hope the rest will also join us. If your friends are not online, please let them know and join us in our lecture discussions. For today, we're going to do a discussion on a topic that I'm pretty sure you are very familiar with. It is something to do with tests. Okay, but before we do that, sorry, tignan natin tong ano, parang remove lang natin yung banner natin. Can you guys hear me? Naririnig niyo ba ako? So if you can hear me, please let me know if you guys can hear me now. Okay, we have a lot of good afternoons in our chat box. Good afternoon to all of you again. Please let me know, guys, if you can hear me. Okay, thank you, Gabriel, for letting me know that you can hear me, and also to Sheila and to all of you, to Karen also. Ang dami pala. Okay, so yeah, before we start formally with our topic, I'm just going to ask you a question. So again, we're going to make use of our Menti meter. Okay, please go to www.menti.com and answer me this question. Okay, I have a very short question for all of you guys. Some sort of a survey that I just wanted to know, no, para makita natin kung ano ba, ayan, yung puwede nating ayan, ganyan pala. Nasa bed kasi ako, guys, kaya ganito yung ayan, stop muna natin yung cam natin at magse-share ako. 'Yan. So, we have a question on your screen now. May tanong tayo, it's in Tagalog. So, I'm sure you know the drill, ano, to go to www.menti.com and you use the code 6045633. So, the question is, ano ang napansin nyo sa mga tests na binigay sa inyo ng inyong mga teachers? Okay? Ano yung kalimitang, minsan may mga reklamo kayo, di ba? O kaya, ano yung magandang attribute ng test o hindi magandang attribute ng test na ibinigay sa inyo ng mga teachers ninyo. So, I'd like to know that you can actually answer it up to 3 times. Ayan. Pwede kayong sumagot dyan ng 3 beses. Ano yung mga napansin nyo dun sa mga tests na ibinibigay sa inyo? Okay? Kalimitan ba ay madali? Kalimitan ba ay mahirap ba yung test? O kaya yung exam ba na binibigay sa inyo ay hindi naman diniscuss or stuffs like that. So I'd like to know kung ano yung mga masasabi ninyo sa mga test na binigay sa inyo ng inyong mga teachers o kung ano yung napansin ninyo. Okay? So please do it now. You can open another browser if you are using your computer or your laptop, or if you are using your phone, pwedeng mag-open kayo ng www.menti.com ulit. Okay? So, yon. Wala pa yatang pumapasok na sagot. So, sige na guys. Please join us dito sa menti.com para makita natin kung ano yung sagot ninyo dyan. So, this is like what I said, is some sort of a survey, So, I just want to know kung ano yung napansin ninyo. Yan. Okay? Saan na kayo? Sagot na kayo. So, where are you? Ayan, wala pang sumasagot actually. Okay. Ayan po, yung Menti is nasa screen ninyo yung Menti. Nasa taas niya. www.menti.com, and then we have the code, nakalagay na dyan sa comment box, 6045633. We have this is the first one, yeah. Yung unang tao lang na sumagot. It's very difficult. May mga wrong spelling daw. The choices are the same. Okay? So, halos pare-pareho daw yung choices. Okay, how about the rest? Come on, guys. Pwede kayong ano diyan, hanggang 3. 'Pag nai-send niyo yung isa, then you can make another one. Okay? Halimbawa, marami kayong observations, then you can have 3 actually. Okay, the choices are this. Hindi pa daw na-discuss yung laman. Ayan, may sumagot din diyan. How about the rest? Okay, guys, come on. Meneses Velasco, dapat dun ka sa menti.com sumagot. You don't need to sign in. Just go to www.menti.com, and then may tatanungin kayo ng code. Ipasok nyo lang yung code na 6045633. Then papasok na kayo dito sa tanong na ito. Tayo. Ano? Para mas okay. Wag sa comment box. Okay, so far we have 56 students, viewers, I mean. Okay, minsan wala sa lesson. Merong sumagot dyan. Okay. Ano pa kaya? How about the rest? Medyo mahirap, difficult, the choices are the same, hindi pa na-discuss, sometimes it's hard. Okay. Ano pa? I think 4 pa lang na tao yung sumagot dito, and you are around 50 na naka-online ngayon. Pwede niyong iwan itong live, and then 'pag iniwan niyo, you go to Menti, then balik din kayo para makita niyo. Okay, so I think there are answers na pumapasok. It says here, are not yet discussed, wala sa ni-lecture, may pattern yung sagot. Sige, yan. Dami na. Okay, sige guys. Just keep your answers coming in. You can give 3 answers maximum. Okay? So, determine answers. Anong ibig sabihin kaya? Same. Determine answers. What does that mean? Words are almost the same. Sometimes it's hard. Ayun. Okay. Sige, just keep your answers coming in. Choices are focusing. Minsan hindi na-discuss. Choices are the same. Wala sa topic. Situational. Time pressured. Yung iba wala sa discussion. Ano yung isa? Mahirap po. Sabi niya, hard. Very difficult. Minsan hindi pa na lesson. Ano pa ba? Okay. More on essay form. Wala sa topic. May mga wrong spelling. Ano pa ba? Sige, just keep those observations coming in, para makita natin. Okay, palakihin siguro natin para makita ko. Choices are similar, may pattern yung sagot, objective test, sometimes some informations. Ano nakalagay? Mahaba masyado yung sinasagot nyo guys, kaya hindi lumalabas lahat. Hindi connect sa question. Ayan. Possible answer that lead. Ayun. Huwag masyadong mahaba. Wala pa sa na-discuss. Mahirap po. Complex. Not organized. Wala sa module. More on identification. Ayun. Mahihirap po. Sabi niya, unclear instructions. Wala sa choices yung sagot. Ayun, dami nyo nang sumagot. Ayan. So there are over 41 of you who answered this question. Mismatch ng question and answer. Ano pa ba? The options are 2, sabi niya. It's like a let. Para daw siyang let exam. Pare-parehong choices. Choices are confusing. Okay, so kung titignan ninyo itong word cloud natin guys, yung pinakagitna dyan, yan yung pinakamarami sa inyo ng sinasabi. Okay, so majority of you, ang sinasabi ninyo ay mahirap. Ano? Kasi ito yung pinakamalaki. If you can see that one, ano? So sabi niyo dito, mahirap. Yun yung pinakamalaking word dyan. So most of you, yun ang tingin ninyo, mahirap. Then, meron dito, difficult. So, it's pretty much the same. Unclear yung instructions. May pattern daw yung sagot. Ayun. May time limit. Choices are similar. Ang haba daw ng question. Wala sa module. Ano pa ba? Wala sa choices yung sagot. Nakakalito daw yung tanong. Ano pa ba? Not comprehensive. And many others. So yan yung yung sa tingin niyo. But overall, ayon sa inyo ay mahihirap yung mga test na ibinigay sa inyo ng inyong mga teachers. Okay? At marami akong nakita dito na nagsasabi na sometimes hindi ni-lesson yung tinatanong doon sa question. Sabi niyo wala sa module. Okay? All right. So, yeah, the reason why I asked you this, guys, is because for today, I'm going to discuss to you about test construction. So, we are done already with the principles of high quality classroom assessment. Okay. Validity. We also have ano pa ba? Reliability and many others. Yung alignment and so on. So, in designing a test, we always have to bear in mind the principles of high quality classroom assessment. Okay? Because sobrang importante kasi itong assessment. Sometimes akala natin assessment is like a form, sometimes a form of punishment to students. Okay? But that's not the case. Okay? If you look at the bigger picture, assessment actually plays a vital role in the teaching and learning process. Because without assessment, it would be hard for teachers to go or to know which direction are they going to take. Okay? Anong direction ba ng pagtuturo ang pupuntahan nila? Okay? So, since ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon is test construction, guys, napaka-importante na alam natin kung paano gumawa ng isang test. So for assessment in learning 1, our focus would be on traditional paper and pencil type of tests. Yun yung magiging focus natin. At yun ang pag-uusapan natin ngayong hapon ito. Now, so base dito sa inyong mga sagot sa aking tanong sa ating word cloud, maraming lumabas na mga napansin ninyo sa mga exams na ibinibigay sa inyo or even in quizzes na ibinibigay sa inyo ng inyong mga teachers. Okay? So let's close now the word cloud at balik tayo doon sa ating slide. And let's see kung yung ibang estudyante ba ay ganun din ang sinasabi nila. Gaya ng sinasabi ninyo when it comes to the tests that are being given to them. Okay? So for ito, 13% of students who got low grades in exams are caused by faulty test questions. That's according to World Watch, the Philadelphia Trumpet in August of 2005. Okay, so 13% na ng mga estudyante na mababa yung nakukuha nila sa exam ay dahil faulty yung test questions. Okay? Now, another, common observations of students on test questions. Ito yung tinanong ko sa inyo kanina. Tignan nga natin kung kapareho ninyo na observations. Number 1 is, hindi naman kasama sa lesson. I think marami sa inyo nagsabi dyan kanina. Another is, hindi na-discuss sa klase. Marami din nagsabi sa inyo niyan kanina. Then, masyadong mahaba ang yung question at mga pagpipilian. Okay? May nabasa rin akong ganyan kanina. Hindi maayos ang layout ng test, putol-putol ang mga sentences. I think this applies noong face-to-face dahil the exams or the tests are being printed. Pero ngayon kasi online mostly ng ating mga exams. So medyo hindi tayo namumroblema sa layout ng test dahil gumagamit ng learning management system kung saan it's the LMS itself na nagde-design doon sa layout ng test. Kaya medyo maganda siya. Okay? Alright? Nakakalito ang mga tanong. Okay? Sabi nyo, nakakalito, mahirap. Okay? Wala sa choices yung tamang sagot. Okay? Nakita ko rin yan kanina. Okay? And then we also have wrong ang grammar. Okay? So ito yung mga pinaka-common na observations ng mga estudyante on test questions, which I think, which you all also share the same, ano? Kasi nakita natin doon sa ating menti kanina na halos pareho yung mga sinasabi nito doon sa mga sinasabi ninyo kanina na observations ninyo doon sa mga exams na bibigay sa inyo ng mga teacher. Okay? By the way, guys, if you have some questions, pwede nyo itanong kaagad-agad dito sa chat box natin and I'm going to answer that questions pag nakita ko siya. Okay? You don't need to wait for me to finish the lecture. Pag meron na kayong tanong kaagad, itanong nyo na kaagad dito sa comment box natin. Alright? So, these are the common observations of students on test questions. Okay? Now, sabi kanina, 13% of the students do not get low scores in a test or exam because of faulty test questions. Probably, these are the probable reasons for faulty questions. Questions are copied verbatim from the book or other resources. Pag sinabi nating questions are copied verbatim, kinuha ito sa isang source na hindi pag-aari ng teacher at kinopya niya ng buong buo. Okay? Wala man lang siyang modification na ginawa, hindi man lang niya minodify yung choices, hindi man lang niya minodify yung stem. Okay? So it was copied verbatim. Okay? And then another reason is not consulting the course outline. Yung kinukwento niyo kanina ay sinasabi niyo kanina na may mga questions na hindi naman nakasali sa hindi naman na-discuss, okay? Probably the reason why is yun nga, hindi kino-consult nung teacher ninyo yung course outline 'pag sila ay nagtuturo. Okay? So, kung ano lang yung gusto nilang ituro, yun na yung ituturo nila. They are not, checking the module, ano? Kaya iba yung naituturo nila. So, pagdating ng exam, iba din yung lumalabas, okay? Another is much consideration is given to reduce printing costs. This is no longer a problem in our current setup because we don't print the test anymore. Okay? But pre-pandemic, nagiging problema ito kasi nga nagtitipid sa pagpiprint. Okay? Lalong-lalo na pag walang sariling printer yung teacher. So medyo ginagawang draft, yung fast draft, yung pagpiprint, kaya minsan malabo o kaya tumatalon-talon yung ano, yung mga napi-print niya kaya napupunta sa ibang line. Okay, that was pre-pandemic problem, but right now that's not our problem anymore because we don't print our tests. And then another is no table of specification or tables of specification was made after making the tests. Okay, and we are going to discuss what table of specification is. Okay, pag wala ka kasing table of specification bago ka gagawa ng test, ay malamang hindi well distributed yung exam mo. Meron yung minsan guys, nasubukan niyo na ba yung mayroong topic na dun ka nag-focus nung nag-review ka nung gabing yun? Talagang inubos mo yung oras mo doon, and then yung iba medyo pahapyaw na lang yung pagre-review mo. Pagdating ng exam, isa lang ang tinanong sa topic na yun, okey? Na-experience niyo na yun? Sumagot naman kayo diyan 'pag nandiyan kayo. Na-experience niyo na ba? Kasi ako nung college ako merong gano'n ano, na feeling ko dito maraming kukunin kasi ang tagal nag-discuss yung teacher ko dito. So, ang ginagawa ko magfo-focus ako do'n, sobrang, effort to death. And then pagdating sa exam, isa lang tinanong o kaya minsan wala pa, ano? Which is very frustrating na parang, "My God, dun ako nag-review ba't walang lumabas dun?" So, ang rason dun ang problema dun is hindi ikaw actually. Kasi 'pag may pinipili tayo na fino-focus na i-review, it's because matagal yun na diniscuss sa klase, okey? So, alam mo kung matagal diniscuss, ibig sabihin maraming lalabas sa exam. Pero ang may kasalanan dun is the teacher, yung gumawa ng test. Bakit? Kasi hindi siya gumamit ng table of specifications. 'Pag meron kang TOS, maiiwasan yon. Okay? Kasi sa TOS, kung anong topic yung may pinakamahabang time na ginugol sa klase, sa discussion, yun ang may pinakamaraming lalabas. Ganun kasi yung TOS, okay? Binabalance niya yung number of items na ilalagay mo dun sa test base sa haba ng iginugol na oras sa pagdi-discuss ng topic na iyon. Okay, that's one of the advantages of using a table of specification or TOS. Kaya it's a must na meron tayong TOS. Kaya kapag sinasabi nyo na yung test ay wala naman doon sa ni-lesson, hindi gumamit yung teacher ng TOS. Okay? At hindi niya kinonsulta yung course outline. Kaya gano'n yung nangyari. Of course, maliban siguro sa tamad yung teacher, kaya kung ano-ano na lang yung nilagay. Pero wala naman tayong gano'ng teacher sa atin. Okay? Lahat naman ng mga teachers ay masisipag. Okay? And you will become one soon. Okay, kaya dapat masipag kapag gusto mo maging teacher. Now, speaking of table of specifications, pag-uusapan natin 'yan mamaya, okay? That is going to be the focus of this lecture, and then, by next lecture natin, ang pag-uusapan natin is how to design a multiple choice type of test, okay? So, but before we talk about TOS, let's take a look at the factors to consider in preparing a test question or a test, okay? One is you have to bear in mind what is the purpose of the test. Okay? Is it a formative test? Is it a summative test? Okay? Is it a diagnostic test? So, tignan natin yon. And then, second is the time available to prepare, administer, and score a test. Okay? So, when you're designing a test, titignan mo yung ah pag-preparation, madali lang bang i-prepare kapag ganitong klase ng question ang gagawin ko? Or will it, take much of my time? Kasi kung mauubos yung oras mo sa paggawa ng test na yon, dapat mas mahaba yung time ng preparation, okay? Yung available time to administer the tests, kailangan din pag-isipan natin yon. So, ideally, sa atin sa school natin, 1 hour and a half yung binibigay nila na oras, okay? So, pag-iisip ka ngayon na ito bang test na ito ay kaya ba nila within 1 hour and a half or 90 minutes? So, pag gagawa ka ng test, nasa isip mo lahat yun. Hindi yung, dapat mahirap lahat ng tanong ko dito. Diyos ko, parang halimbawa, ang test mo ay 1 to 50, 25 pa lang ang nasasagot ng mga estudyante mo, ubos na yung oras nila. Hindi yun po pwede. Kaya dapat binabalance mo yung easy, average at difficult na question. Hindi rin pwede na dahil tinatamad kang gumawa ng test, 10 items na essay, ano? 10 essay questions ang ipapagawa mo. And you only gave them 1 hour and a half. Okay? So, medyo mahirap gawin yon, ano? So, isipin mo rin 'pag gumagawa ka ng test, pasok ba ito sa oras na kaibibigay ko sa kanila? And of course, also, think of the time available to score a test, okay? Pag-isipan mo rin kung ito ba will it will I be using a lot of time to score this test? That's why most of the exams na binibigay sa inyo is a combination of the different types of tests. Merong multiple choice, may true or false test, or binomial choice test, may essay na isa or dalawa. Ideal kasi yung isa or dalawa na essay question. Pero yung meron ka ng multiple choice tests, meron ka bang binomial choice test na modified pa, modified true or false. And then, meron ka pang essay na 5. Okay? Sobrang ano na yon, madami na yung gano'n. Matagal na ring i-score yon kasi may essay, okay. So, consider all those things, ano, when you are preparing a test question, okay. Then we also have number of students to be tested, okay. Halimbawa, meron kang subject and you have 250 students, okay, different classes, pero 'pag pinagsama-sama mo, there are 250 students. Tapos puro essay yung tanong mo, my God, okey? Baka aabutin ka ng samsyam, okey? Sa pag-a-administer nung test na yun at sa pagche-check na rin, okey? So, think of the number of students to be tested, the skill of the teacher in writing the test, okey? So, dapat tignan din natin ano, kung marunong ba na gumawa ng test yung teacher, okay. But kayo, since kayo ay magiging future teachers, dapat marunong kayo. That's why most of the time, we want you to have a good command of the English language, and we ask you to write essay because that is one way of training you, okay, to be confident with the English language because the tests in most of the subjects are written in English. So if you do not have a good command of the language, then it would be very difficult for you to construct a question. Okay, that's why it's very important that you guys would practice. Okay, so as early as now, dapat you have to practice yourselves in writing in English, in speaking in English, because when you will be writing later on, that's one of the skills that will help you write a test. Well, that's just one of the skills, okay? Then facilities available in reproducing the test. Of course, like what I said, this is not a huge problem in our current setup, which is online, because we don't reproduce the tests. But you have to consider that also once na bumalik tayo sa normal classroom. Okay, to be able to prepare a good test, one has to have a mastery of the subject matter, knowledge if the pupils of that's not if of the pupils to be tested, the skill in verbal expression and the use of the different tests format. And that's the reason why we have assessment in learning one, because I am going to acquaint you on the different test formats and I'm going to teach you on how are you going to make them. Specifically, multiple choice tests, binomial choice test, essay, and matching tests. Okay, so those are the things that I'm going to teach you. Actually, you know how to make these things already, but we're just going to discuss them and maybe remind you of the do's and don'ts in writing those tests formats. Okay, So sabi dito, good test, you have to know the subject matter. Okay? Pag hindi mo alam yung subject matter, hindi mo alam yung tinuturo mo, napakahirap gumawa ng test. Hindi mo alam kung ano yung itatanong mo. Okay? And of course, dapat may idea ka tungkol sa mga estudyante mo na itetest mo. Okay? Ibig sabihin ng you have a knowledge of the pupils to be tested. Ibig sabihin, alam mo kung saan sila nahihirapan. Alam mo yung mga strengths nila. Alam mo kung ano yung alam nila. Okay? So, yun. Then, yung sinasabi ko kanina, skill in verbal expression, that's one of the skills that is very important. And itong test formats. So, ititrain ko kayo dito. Okay? Mastery of the subject matter. I'm sure you have a mastery of your majors kasi meron kayong mga major subjects. Skill in verbal expression. So, by now, probably, ay na-practice nyo na ito. Okay? And then, the use of the different test format, that's what I'm going to teach you in the succeeding days. Okay? Alright, so ito na yung pinag-usapan natin kanina. Okay, let's not discuss them anymore. And then, steps in planning for a test. Okay, identify the test objectives. Yan yung unang gagawin. Decide on the type of objective test to be prepared. Anong type ng test ang gagamitin. And then we have the TOS. Then we construct the draft test items. And then we try out and validate. Try out meaning i-administer mo yung test and then do an item analysis and validate the test questions. Okay? So ang focus natin ngayon dito ay table of specification. Okay? So general steps in test construction. 1, produce a TOS. Then create a draft, order, okay? And then tests, then analyze, and then submit. Okay? Submit mo dun sa head mo, ibig sabihin yan. Okay? So ganun yung gagawin na step in constructing a test. Mauna tayong mag-produce ng TOS. But of course, before producing a TOS, we should identify the test objectives and decide on type of the test that we're going to prepare. Okay? So yan. Right, questions guys? Bakit po yung ibang teacher ganun po sila gumagawa ng exam? I don't know. Okay, probably because, well, maybe one is they are not dedicated to the job that they have. Kasi pag dedicated ka and you love what you do, gagawa ka ng ganon. Pangalawa, baka wala na siyang oras, ano? Which is not a reason, which is not a good reason. Okay? No good reason will explain kung bakit yung mga ibang teacher ay, ano to, walang TOS. O kaya kung ano-ano lang yung nilalagay nila sa TOS. Okay? May iba din na hindi enough yung training nila sa paggawa ng test. Kaya karumal-dumal yung exam na pine-prepare nila. Okay? Kulang sila sa training. And you are very lucky kasi hindi pa nga kayo teacher ay iti-train ko na kayo kung paano gumawa ng tests. Okay? So, it's hard, to really pinpoint kung bakit ganon yung mga test na ginagawa ng mga ibang teachers. Okay? But like what I said, baka kulang sa time. Kasi kung kulang ka sa time, ibig sabihin, hindi mo na ma-manage ang time mo. Pag di mo na ma-manage yung time mo, ibig sabihin, ayaw mo yung ginagawa mo. Okay? So, the key here, guys, para maging maayos yung pagiging pagtuturo ninyo is you love the teaching profession. Okay? You dedicate your time, the effort, and show love for the profession. So, when you have this, makikita mo na very quality yung trabaho mo. Okay. Napapansin niyo ba na yung mga teachers na parang walang pake sa kanilang pagtuturo ay 'pag may mga test sila yung hindi maganda yung exam, sila yung mga kung ano-anong sinasabi sa inyo, okay, 'di ba? Kasi kulang sila ng pagmamahal sa job, okay? So I hope wala pa kayong na-encounter na gano'ng mga teachers. Okay? So just ask questions. Ano? I hope nasagot ko yung tanong mo, Christine. Hindi ko talaga definitely masasagot kung bakit gano'n yung mga iba. Okay? Mga possible lang yung mga sinabi ko na rason. But I really don't know. Okay? But like what I said, if you love the teaching profession, then ang mapoproduce mo ng mga tests, okay, yung pag-explain mo ay may quality talaga. Okay? Alright, so I hope andyan pa kayo? May si Aldrin, sabi niya, Sir, as you have said a while back, teachers must know the difficulties of students regarding the type of exam. As teacher in the making, how are we going to balance the type of exam for students? Um, nasa ano yan eh, anong tawag dito? When we talk about balancing the type of exam, meron tayong mamaya pag-uusapan natin sa table of specification. The TOS or the table of specification will help you balance the tests. Okay? Yung content ng madaling question, average na question, tsaka mahihirap na question. Okay? Kaya nga pag wala kang TOS, maaaring ang magawa mong test ay puro easy tests. Kaya minsan, 'di ba, na-try niyo na ba 'yun, guys? Meron kayong tinake na exam na 15 minutes, 50 items. 15 minutes pa lang tapos niyo na? Naranasan niyo na 'yan or 15 or 30 minutes pa lang? You have 1 hour and a half to finish it, pero 30 minutes pa lang tapos niyo na yung test kasi super dali. Then meron naman kayong na-take na exam na kulang pa yung 1 hour and a half, hindi pa kayo nangangalahati, ubos na yung oras. It is because most of the questions ay sobrang mahihirap. Okay? And the culprit is yun, the absence of a table of specification. Pag wala kang TOS, mangyayari yun. It's either super easy yung exam mo or super difficult yung exam mo. Now, if you have a TOS, mababalance yung madali, yung average, saka yung mahihirap na tanong. Okay? So, yan. Makikita natin mamaya. Ihabol natin. Ang naranasan daw naman nila ay 20 minutes pero 30 items. Okay? 20 minutes yung tinapos, 30 items. Easy pa rin yung mga tanong. Okay? Ibig sabihin, the questions are easy if you finish it in 20 minutes because it's not in the number of items. I can make a question na 30 items na pasok sa 1 hour and a half. Besides, guys, pag magpa-exam kayo, na 30 items lang naman yung tanong, wag nyo nang gawing 1 hour and a half yung time limit. So, kung 30 items na multiple choice siguro, pwede siyang 30 minutes din. Okay? So, tignan nyo rin yung oras. Sobra na yung 1 hour and a half. Ngayon, kung napapansin nyo sa mga exam na binigay ko sa inyo, sobrang haba ng time dahil kino-consider ko yung speed ng data connection ninyo. Okay? I am afraid na kapag sinakto ko yung oras doon sa talagang oras dapat na ibibigay ko, magiging malaking factor yung mabagal na internet connection ninyo at mababa ang magiging score ninyo. So, in other words, mababa yung score ninyo dahil sa data connection ninyo na mabagal. So, ang mangyayari, masasacrifice natin yung validity ng test. Apektado. Kasi yung score mo ay hindi dahil hindi mo alam ang sagot. Yung score mo ay mababa dahil hindi mo nasagot lahat at dahil mabagal yung data mo. Pag ganun yung nangyari, affected yung validity ng test scores. At ayaw ko yun mangyari. Kaya hinahabaan ko yung oras. Pero, syempre, may mga estudyante kasi, kaya minsan, huwag kayong magsisinungaling, guys. Kasi pag nagsinungaling kayo na, Sir, kulang yung 1 hour and a half, gawin nating 3 hours. Yung pala, sobra-sobra yung 1 hour and a half. Gusto nyo lang palang gawing 3 hours para may time kayo na magkopyahan. May time kayo na mag-comparean ng sagot. So, yung ginagawa ninyong yun is already a contributor to the validity of the test. So, once na nag-comparean kayo ng tanong, Once na nag-exchange kayo ng sagot, the validity of the test na binibigay namin sa inyo ay nasakripisyo na. Wala na. Okay? Kaya, siyempre mataas yung score niyo, nagkopyahan kayo. So, ang mangyayari, mag-proceed kami sa next lesson kasi matataas nga ang score ninyo. Pero hindi pala naintindihan ng karamihan yung mga na-exam. Pero bakit mataas yung score nila? Nangopya kasi sila dahil mahaba yung time na binigay nung teacher. Okay? Nasakripisyo yung validity ng test, nagkamali ng evaluation yung teacher. Ano yung evaluation? Sabi ko, evaluation is, isa sa mga basis namin ay test scores. Okay? Decision making. Should we proceed to the next lesson or are we going to take extra more time para ituro itong lesson na ito? So lalabas na, hindi, I need to proceed to the next lesson kasi matataas ang score ng BSE Ed 2A to C, tsaka ng BTLED, tsaka ng BPED. Ang tataas ng mga scores nila. Alam na nila lahat to, naintindihan pala nila. Wow, ang galing ko na teacher. So proceed ako sa next lesson. But in reality, madami palang hindi nakaintindi. Nangopya pala sila. Sabay-sabay pala tinake yung online test. Nag-comparean pala sila ng sagot. Tapos pinalusot sa teacher na, "Sir, kulang po yung 1 hour and a half. Kailangan namin ng 3 hours kasi mabagal ang connection namin." Hindi pala totoo. So, ang ending, magkakamali ngayon ng judgment yung teacher. 'Pag nagkamali ng judgment yung teacher, magkakaroon ng problema sa learning ng estudyante. Masa-sacrifice. Okay? So now you know, guys, bakit very strict ako when it comes sa exam. Pero alam ko pa rin, marami akong nahuhuli. Ayaw ko lang mamahiya. Pero yun yung rason. Ayaw ko na masakripisyo natin yung validity ng test. Okay? Nagets nyo ba yon? Ngayon, alam nyo na ba? So, next time na magkopyahan kayo, magkodigo kayo, mag-exchange kayo ng answer, I'm sure makukonsensya kayo because isinasakripisyo nyo yung validity of the test. And by the way, guys, the validity of the test is the most important principle of high-quality classroom assessment. Okay? Alright, si Christine sabi niya, lalo na pag may pattern yung sagot. Yeah, pag may pattern naman yung sagot, at nadiskubre ng buong klase, ayun, affected pa rin yung validity ng test. Okay? At yun ang ayaw nating isakripisyo. It's the validity of the test results. Okay? So I hope makonsensya kayo sa ibang mga subjects ninyo or sa subject ko. When next time na pag-isipan nyo na magkopyahan kayo, wag nyo gawin yon kasi magkakaroon ng maling judgment yung teacher ninyo. O mataas nga ang grade mo, pero wala ka namang natutunan. Tandaan natin, magkakaroon tayo ng board exam. Pagdating ng board exam, nga, kasi wala kang natutunan noon. Okay? So, mas mabuti yung may natutunan ka, tapos mababa yung nai-score mo, yung sakto lang yung score mo, hindi pang dinslister yung score mo. Pero marami kang natutunan, no? Mas okay pa yun. Okay? Pero mas okay sa okay pa rin yung may natutunan ka, matataas yung scores mo. Yan. Na yung score mo ay galing sa sarili mo. Okay? So, mamaya, pag-isipan natin, ano? Yung mga ginagawa natin sa online classes natin. Are we cheating? Sa tingin ba natin, niloloko natin yung mga teachers natin? Pag akala nyo niloloko nyo kami, actually, ito, niloloko nyo yung sarili ninyo at kayo lahat ang magsasuffer. Kasi niloko nyo kami, mali yung desisyon namin, turo kami ng turo, kayo kawawa. Okay? Alright. Now, let's talk about table of specifications. This is one of the questions kanina na paano natin ma-ensure na balance yung difficulty ng tests. Okay? It's with the use of table of specification. A two-way chart that relates the learning outcomes to the course content. Okay? So we relate the learning outcomes to the course content. It is a test map that guides the teacher in constructing a test. So ito yung pinakamapa natin. Okay? Pag gagawa tayo ng test. So, ibig sabihin, Ang unang-unang gagawin natin ay gumawa tayo ng test map or ng TOS, saka tayo gagawa ng tests. Ito guys, realidad ito. Maraming mga teachers na gumagawa muna ng test, saka sila gagawa ng table of specification. Yan ay trabaho ng tamad na teacher at mali iyan. Ang unang gagawin natin ay TOS dahil itong TOS ang magga-guide sa atin sa paggawa natin ng test. Hindi yung gagawa ka ng test, saka mo gagawan ng TOS. No, that is very wrong and it will defeat the purpose of a table of specifications. Okay? Third, it ensures that there is a balance between items that test lower level thinking skills and those which test higher order thinking skills. Okay? It ensures balance between easy and difficult items. Yan. And it enables a teacher to prepare a test containing a representative sample of student knowledge in each of the area tested. So, ito na. Maiiwasan na yung sinasabi nyo na hindi diniscuss pero nasa test. Pag may table of specifications ka, you are sure na lahat ng diniscuss mo ay mailalagay mo sa test para sa mga estudyante mo. Maiiwasan na yung ganong problema. Yung sinasabi natin kanina. Okay? So that's how important TOS is. If you do not have this, lahat ng mga binanggit nyo sa start kanina ay pwede nyong makommit. Pwede nyong magawa. Okay? Pero pag meron kang TOS, maiiwasan lahat yung mga binanggit nyo sa umpisa ng lecture natin kanina. Okay? So see guys, that's how important table of specification is. Okay? Kaya kailangan gawin. Alright, a TOS consists of the following: level of objectives to be tested, and the statement of objective, item numbers where such an objective is being tested, the number of items and percentage out of the total for that particular objective. Okay, for you to understand this, I'm going to show you an example, sample TOS. This is an old TOS of DepEd. Ano bang year ito? Grade 10. This is from a DepEd memorandum. So, kinuha lang natin ito and we're going to give you a sample of a table of specifications. Iba-iba ang itsura ng table of specification depende sa institution. But for DepEd, nationwide, iisa yung format na ginagamit nila. And this is an example of a table of specification for Araling Panlipunan 10 for grade 10. Okay? So dito, makikita nyo may nakasulat sa taas. Minsan dito sa taas, sinusulat yung name ng institution like Isabela State University, City of Ilagan Campus, and then table of specifications. And ang ilalagay natin dito ay midterm examination in, okay, assessment learning 1. Okay, so yon. And then school year, first semester, school year 2021-2022. Yun ang ilalagay natin. Now, sabi ko kanina, iba-iba yung itsura ng TOS. Depende sa layout na gusto nila, but basically, ganito yung makikita natin. The topic. Ano itong mga topic na ito? These are the topics which you discuss for a certain period or term. Okay? Halimbawa, midterm. O ano lang ba yung mga na-discuss natin? TOS. Halimbawa ako, lesson 1, TOS. Lesson 2, constructing, ano ba, multiple choice test. Lesson 3, constructing binomial choice test, and so on and so forth. Yan lang yung mga na-discuss dito. Ngayon, meron tayong next na column, number of days. In some TOS, ang nakalagay dyan ay number of meetings. Meron din nakalagay dyan na number of hours dito. So, anong ibig sabihin itong number of days? Okay, yung number of days ay kung ilang araw mo tinuro yung lesson na yan, or kung ilang oras mo tinuro yung lesson na yan, or kung ilang meeting mo itinuro yung lesson na yan. So, sa kaso ng example natin, yung Aralin 1, 5 days niya itinuro. Okay? Aralin 2, 7 days. Aralin 3, 7 days. Aralin 4 and 5, 5 days, tag 5 days. Aralin 6 ay 7 days. So, pag tinotal mo yan, 36 days lahat yung coverage ng fourth periodical test. Hindi, bakit kukunti ka nyo? Ibig sabihin ng 37 days, ito yung kasi, minsan may mga subjects na 2 days lang nag-meet per week. Okay, so yun. Kaya parang 36 lang. Pero hindi ibig sabihin 36 days na dire-diretso. Okay, anyway, kung mapapansin nyo guys, kung mahaba yung time na ginugol, maraming test items. Sa third column, yung 5 days, 10 items lang. Yung 7 days, 15 items. 7 days, 15 items. 5 days, 10, 5, 10, then 7 and 10. So, a total of 75 items. Ito yung total ng test items. Okay. So, ang tanong, sino ang magde-decide kung ilang test items yung exam? Ikaw. Ikaw na teacher. Okay? Ikaw ang magde-decide kung ilang items yung test mo or ilang points. Okay? Yung test mo. Okay? Sa atin sa ISU, pag prelim, usually nasa 30 to 50 items lang pag prelims. Okay? Kapag midterm, at least 50 items or points or items, ano? Ganun din sa finals. Okay? Ako minsan is 50 points. Let's say 30 items siya, pero 50 points. So, may mga ganun. Pwede yon. Okay. Pero sa TOS natin, ang pinag-uusapan natin dito ay number of items. So, ilang items ba yung gagawin mo? Now, ang tanong, paano ba natin malalaman kung ilang items? Okay? Ang pwede. Halimbawa, guys, teka lang. Pag ito, I hope you can follow. If you have a pen and paper, please kumuha kayo. Kumuha kayo ng pen and paper. O sige, mamaya i-end ko na ito. Ano? Ituloy natin bukas kasi naka 1 hour na pala tayo. Meron na kayong pen and paper, guys? Para ituro kung paano na-compute itong number of items. Okay? Anyway, so unang-una, in computing the number of items, decide muna kung ilang points yung test ninyo. Okay? Ilang points kaya yung test natin? So, dito, sa halimbawa natin, nag-decide yung teachers na 75. 75 points yung kanyang test. Okay? Points na lang gamitin ko. Ano? So, 75 items. Ngayon, paano ko malalaman kung ilang items ang aralin 1? Kunyari, hindi pa natin alam na 10 yan. Paano natin na-compute yung 10? Mako-compute natin ang 10 by looking at the number of days for aralin 1. Ilang number of days itinuro ang aralin 1? 5. Then, divide it by the total number of days, which is 36. So, 5 divided by 36. Then, whatever the quotient is, you multiply with the number of items na na-identify mo. So, dito sa kaso natin, 75. So, 5 divided by 36. Okay, you try that, guys. Kung may calculator kayo sa tabi ninyo, para makita ninyo kung paano siya na-compute, di ba? So, 5 divided by 36 will give you 0.1388888. And then multiply that by the total number of items, which is 75. Again, sino ang magde-decide sa total number of items? It is the teacher. Okay? So, sa kaso na to, ulitin natin, 5 divided by 36, total number of days, 36, times the number of items. Okay? So, ang lumabas dyan ay 10.41. Okay? Wala naman tayong 0.41 items. So, ang ilalagay natin dito ay 10. Okay? Pag 5 days, itinuro 10 items. So, lahat ng 5 days tinuro, lagyan mo na ng 10. Now, we have 7. Dito, aralin 2. 7 days niya tinuro. So, tignan natin kung ilang items yan. 7 the 7 days na tinuro divided by the total number of days, which is 36, times the total number of items or points decided by the teacher. Sa kaso natin ay 75 times 75. Ang sagot dyan ay 14.58. Okay, so instead of 14.58, ginawang 15 para mabalance. Okay? Dito guys, sa TOS, hindi tayo magra-round off na gagamitin natin yung rounding off principle ng math. Pwede kayong halimbawa ang lumabas na sagot ay 10.58 ay 14.58. Pwedeng gawin yung 15 yan or pwede yung gawing 14. So i-disregard nyo yung rounding off na principle ng arithmetic. Dito ay gusto lang natin na kapag tinotal natin, ang lalabas ay yung 75. Okay? So, ang mangyayari, gawin natin 15 lahat ng 7 days. So, 7 days, 15, 15. So, pag i-add mo yan, total of 75. Okay? So, okay na siya. Alam mo na kung ilang items lahat. Sa percentage naman, dito sa side na to, percentage ng items versus the total number of items. Ilang porsyento ng exam mo ang Aralin 1. So sa Aralin 1, may 10 items tayo. So 10 divided by the total number of items divided by 75. Okay, ang lalabas yan ay 13.133 times 100 palagi kasi percent nga. So, ang lumabas dito ay 13.33%. Pero sa example natin, ni-round siya, so naging 13%. So, lahat ng 10 items ay 13%. Pero bakit ito, sir, naging 14? Kasi gusto lang natin maging 100%. So, pwede tayong mag-adjust ng kahit alin sa mga 13, 13, 13. So, sabi ko nga kanina, dinidisregard natin dito ang principle ng rounding off. Ang gusto natin ay mabalance natin na 100%. Okay? You do the same with Aralin 2, 3, 4, 5 hanggang 6 para makabuo tayo ng 100%. Okay? So, I hope that's clear. And then, tomorrow, itong next na mga columns ang pag-uusapan natin. Dito medyo madugo. Kung hindi nyo alam kung ano ang remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, and evaluating, and also creating. Dapat, kung ikaw ay teacher, kung gagawa ka ng TOS, alam mo dapat itong mga levels ng cognitive domain. Kung hindi mo alam, mahihirapan ka gumawa ng TOS. Okay? Alright. So, may tanong? Itutuloy natin ito kasi more than 1 hour na tayo. So, yeah, I think if you guys have questions, like what I said, you can just ask questions sa GC natin. Okay? Itutuloy natin itong table of specification tomorrow. Okay? And yeah, I think if you have no more questions, I think I'm going to end this discussion now. I hope to see you again tomorrow. Okay? Wala na pong tanong? Parang wala na. Okay? So, I think wala na kayong tanong, guys. Goodbye, everyone.